We claim that we want honesty from businesses. We say that we want nice brands. We tell ourselves that we'll only work with people that are professional. We hate the arrogant CEO. The airline that just treats us like a number, we're not going to use them again. And we're not going to do business with a company that doesn't care about our feelings. Yet, if you look at where the American public actually spend their money, we're consistently choosing the villains. Now, why do we claim that we hate companies like Spirit Airlines or Ryanair? Why do we roll our eyes at the marketing from companies like Liquid Death that promote this aggressive brand, yet they became $1 billion beverage in a fraction of the time it took the other water companies? The truth is, we don't like perfect brands. We find them boring, we find them untrustworthy, and we're biologically wired to seek out a spike. In psychology, there's a concept called the pratfall effect, and it suggests that a person's brand or attractiveness actually increases when they show a flaw or a polarizing trait. The pratfall effect originated in a study in 1966. Subjects listened to a recording of an expert answering questions. Now, this expert got 92% of the questions answered correct. This was all done beforehand, it was already agreed. And the participants were just asked to rank how much they liked the expert. Now, for whatever reason, the cohort of people said that they didn't really like the expert that much. Another group was shown the exact same expert answering the questions, except this time, the expert accidentally spilled his cup of coffee after answering the questions. The result was the expert that spilled the coffee was ranked as way more likable than the expert that didn't make a mistake. And this is why we love brands that are unapologetically them. Take Tesla, for example. Elon Musk has no problem offending half of Twitter or X. Ryanair, a UK company, are quite happy to admit that there's extra fees for pretty much everything, and you get the bare minimum when you fly with them. Liquid Death promotes aggressive, scary branding on all of their cans. They don't pretend to be perfect. They do showcase their expertise in their given field. They're quite happy to put their hands up and say, we are not perfect. And this is the problem when you try to be too professional in your business. It just comes across as boring, dull, and nothing differentiates you. When you try to be for everyone, you're for no one. If you don't have anyone that dislikes or hates your brand, I can guarantee you don't have anyone that loves it. The so-called villains understand this polarization is a consequence of progressing in business. If you don't have something that makes you stand out that some people aren't going to like, you become a commodity, and commodities will always compete on price alone. When I had my gym or my online kickboxing business, yes, I believe we were truly some of the best out there, but I was quite happy to be polarizing. I was quite happy to sit there and say, hey, here are the things we're good at, here are the things we're not good at. It's up to you which one you go for now. I want to give you an example. Imagine you are a high-ticket consultant or an agency owner in like New York or LA. If you're polite and you're flexible, you attract the rubbish clients who want to haggle and who don't value your service. However, when you look at some of the best paid consultants, they're known as villains, they're unavailable, they're hard to reach, they say it how it is, they're not very polite in the way they work. And then what happens is the fanatics show up and they think, wow, this is incredible, this person is polarizing. You see it on social media a lot as well, the people that swear in their videos or are happy to call people out, they always do better than those that are too afraid to be themselves. If you genuinely believe that what you're saying is correct and accurate, you have a duty to say it and express it to those that are part of your tribe. To dominate your market, you need to stop asking yourself, how can I be better? And you need to start asking yourself, who am I willing to annoy here in order to get my ideal customer? Now, if you're not naturally inclined to be polarizing and it's something that makes you feel really, really uneasy, there's multiple ways you can use the pratfall effect to your advantage without having to do this. Back when I had my head kick program, we used to message every new follower that we got. It's a very common practice you see in that industry, and the vast majority of people would never answer. So what I did before I even knew what the pratfall effect was, I included a spelling error in that message, and then I would reply afterwards. I'd correct the error with a little asterisk, and then I'd say, haha, at least you're not talking to a robot. That would instantly turn off the alarm bells of the prospect, and we'd have way more conversations. I later learned about the pratfall effect and understood that's why this is working. So don't be afraid to upset some people in order to get more customers. It is a natural part of business, and you're never going to be in a situation where everyone loves you. Understand who your ideal customer is. Who are the people that you really care about serving, and go all in on them. What are their beliefs? What are their values? What do they value outside of business? What hobbies do they have? Give yourself permission to talk on these subjects. You will always find a pattern in that the most successful entrepreneurs and individuals are the companies that are okay in understanding they work with a very select few people. That doesn't mean that people that don't fit in that circle can't come along and join that crowd. In fact, it happens all the time. But you should always start with this very, very tight-knit core group of people and then work your way up from there.